Okay, doing a little gear unpacking video after riding the Westfjords Way over in Iceland. I just got back a few days ago and thought I'd show you guys what gear I used, what was useful, what wasn't, and just kind of give you that beta since I didn't see too many videos online myself before going. So I did the Westfjords Way through Cycling Westfjords. Dora and Tyler, hello. It was super fun. I would recommend everybody to book it through them. They give you a map, they give you a little towel to use in the hot springs, and you get discounts on all kinds of the guest houses and restaurants, and it's just fun to be connected to people that live in the area when you're doing the Westfjords Way. So I'd highly encourage that. And otherwise, I'll just dive into the gear that I brought. This is what I wore pretty much every day that I was biking, just some long hiking pants. I have bike shorts underneath. I use Nesiums. One of my buddies started Nesium company bike shorts, awesome bike shorts. I brought 3 pairs with me and had no issues in the saddle the whole time, so that was great. But basically I just wore merino wool undershirt, very lightweight merino wool long sleeve. And typically when I was biking, this is what I was wearing. Had my Flash 18 little day pack on my back. I used a water bladder, it's just what I had, and that worked great. I never filtered any water. I would just dunk it in one of the plentiful streams along the roads and didn't have any issues. Inside the backpack, Patagonia R1 Tech Face long sleeve. I would wear this sometimes when I was biking, particularly in the morning, maybe it'd be a bit colder. But usually I would get too hot pretty quick and I'd take this off and stash it away. So anyways, had that in my backpack. Had my Kindle. I read 9 books while I was there. I was there for a month. So a lot of time reading, a lot of time biking. Had a beanie. I ended up using the beanie because in the summers it doesn't get dark at all. So when I slept, I would just pull this down over my head or over my eyes. Otherwise, I never wore the beanie while I was biking or anything like that. It just wasn't cold enough. It was between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius, which I think is around 50 to 60 Fahrenheit, something like that. So never super cold. Otherwise, this is just a solar charged battery that I would use. I'd charge this up and charge my phone and whatnot with it. Other than that, nothing else. Other than that, I would keep snacks in my backpack. I ate a lot of candy, honestly, out there. Little rewards for after the climbs and everything. But other than that, just kind of day snacky stuff in the backpack. In the front pocket, just all my charge cords, toothpaste, and I kept my toothbrush in there and whatnot. So that was what was in the backpack. Number one, completely inexpendable piece of gear, the most important piece of gear that I had for sure, was these gloves. Fingerless gloves is what I used. They're just wind stop, they're not waterproof. But in a light rain to a normal rain, I just kept these things on. They still kept my hands warm. And the biggest thing was just cutting the wind. My hands would have absolutely frozen in the wind and the rain, just in the semi-cold temperatures. So definitely need some wind-stopping gloves. Waterproof gloves might be a bit hot, so that's why I would just say wind-stopping. And then of course wore some sunglasses or biking lenses. So to jump to the bike, I have a Trek 920. It's got giant 29-inch and 2.5-inch thick tires on it. This particular bike, just because of what happened, the front is tubeless. In the back, I do have a tube. I only had to patch and repair one tube, but the patch didn't work, so then I threw in a new tube. And that was it. That was just one-time thing. So pretty easy for that. The bike worked super well overall. Most of the roads are really good gravel and or asphalt. Some of the mountain passes get super rocky, but with the bigger tires and everything, I was able to kind of munch right through it, and it was great. So this bike did perfectly for me. I ran, yeah, kind of like a, well, whatever, I'll just dive in here. I still kept racks on my bike. This is just my tent, so I had my tent on the front rack. I did have this in a dry bag while I was actually on the trip, but the dry bag got pretty trashed. It was kind of a cheap one, so don't have a dry bag with me today, but tent on the front. I have the Alps Mountaineering Mystique 1.5 tent. I've had it for like 8 years and it worked great. So other than that, I brought Crocs for the river crossings. There was really only 2 days that I had river crossings that I needed to get off the bike for, and I did throw the Crocs on for those, and they worked great. I just used bungee cords to attach all my stuff to the bike. They were just a lot cheaper than those fancy straps that you see all the bike packing people do. So anyways, the other Croc. And then the front bag, which is, I think, Revelate Designs dry bag that I stuffed with all my clothes. So I just kept all my clothes in here, which worked great for me. This is the sweet little towel you get from Cycling Westfjords. Thanks, guys. Keep that forever. These, I had some bike shorts just kind of floating in the top, because really that's the only thing I would change every day, was I'd put on my fresh pair of bike shorts. These are Nesiums. They're super dope. Got a pocket in the back for a water bottle, but just given my route, I didn't really use that, but it does work great at home. It's got a phone pocket over here. Again, just the nature of the ride, didn't use that, but yeah, these bike shorts were amazing. Loved them. So inside the dry bag, I had two other little pouches actually. This is like a, I think, polyester balaclava. I actually never used this. It just didn't really get cold enough. I was there late June to late July for 1 month and never used that. So that's in the never used pile. Same with these thick, super warm Gore-Tex gloves. Brought them, never needed them. Even though they're waterproof and stuff in the rain, I just kind of powered through with my other gloves and it was great for me. Here, brought 2 other shirts, just normal t-shirts. Well, I mean, kind of technical. This is like another merino shirt, and then this one is just like polyester, I think. But sporty, dries quick. Those were my base layers. I did bring long underwear. I also never used this. It just, I mean, again, wasn't quite cold enough. Like 50 degrees, you don't really need to throw that on with pants. These t-shirts I did use. And then lastly, a merino long sleeve. So I'd kind of rotate through the one I'm wearing and this one. I only brought 2. You don't need many clothes. And then the other stuff that was in that bag. Another pair of the Nesium bike shorts. These I did throw, I think I only biked in these one day. They're just basically like Nike running shorts. I think I biked in them one day, but otherwise would just wear them like when I was doing laundry and stuff. Or around camp sometimes. Underwear. And 2, 3 more pairs of socks in addition to the one I'm wearing. So I brought 4 pairs of socks. That's it for the front of the bike. Guess I'll kind of work my way back. Bike lock and bike pump. So would use this to check the tires and whatnot. Worked great. This is my frame bag, REI frame bag. Worked great. Zipper sticks a little bit in the beginning, but otherwise I loved it. Like it worked perfectly. I did bring a headlamp, but it doesn't get dark, so I never pulled it out. Didn't use a headlamp. Some Dr. Bronner's soap. That worked great, always does. This was my lube, chain lube. It's a wet lube, so it kind of stays on in the water. a bit more. Would put this on, you know, every couple days, as one does. Some just like some little hydration tablets that I throw in glasses of water sometimes. Just an extra plastic bag because you never know when you want to waterproof something. I would throw this on my bike seat when it rained, actually. At night. A knife, I never used a knife, but I always like that. And then spork, broken in half to eat with. What else we got? Then I kept my stove and everything in here. So a little cup for coffee in the morning, some gas just to boil water and cook stuff, and an MSR pocket rocket stove that I used, my little camp cup. Got, you know, lighter and whatnot in there. Still some pesto, probably gotta throw that away. And this is a UV water purifier. Again, I did not use it because the water is so clean. That's it for the frame bag. Working our way back, the seat bag, also the REI one, I don't know the name of the whatever bag. They tell you to put your tent poles in here to help stiffen it, which does a great job of stiffening it, but on a mountain pass road, those tent poles shook loose, and I didn't realize it for a few miles, so it added like a 5-mile hike to my 80-mile day of biking. So I think I might actually return this bag, to be perfectly honest, just because of that occurrence. I don't want to have to worry about that. So after that, I did not keep the poles back there, and it just kind of shook around a bit more. So on top, I would run my hard shell, which is this super old Arc'teryx that I actually got for $5 at a garage sale like 10 years ago. It's done great for me, but I do think it is time to retire this thing. So that was my hard shell. Another plastic bag because you never know what you might want to throw it over to make waterproof. Inside here, I would keep the towel that I brought for hot springs, and there are plenty of hot springs. Some board shorts for swimming. I have the Big Agnes Aircore Ultra sleeping pad. Love this thing. And I finally got a pillow because camping for a month, I decided I would want the extra comfort. So just a little pillow in the tent. I did keep my extra bike tubes in here as well, but they're in my garage now. And then I also brought these neoprene socks because I thought there would be a lot more river crossings, but there just weren't that many, and really the water's not that cold, so I actually did not use those neoprene socks. So that's it for the frame bag. I guess I'll pop this thing off as well. Okay, and then I just brought 2 panniers. They're meant for the front of a bike, but I put them on the back because I didn't want giant back ones. So in these, what's in this one? I think this is my sweater. Nope, sleeping bag. So I threw my sleeping bag in one of the panniers because I figured if it was raining and I was setting up the tent, I just want to get to it pretty quick. And I kept it in its loose stuff sack just so I could easily just like whip it out, throw it in the tent, and similarly like throw it in the pannier if I was getting out of the tent in the rain. I have a Nemo sleeping bag. Can't remember the exact bag. I think it's a 0 degree bag. It is mummy, but it's got like extra room in the chest. I love that bag. It's awesome. So, and that was it. That was the only thing in this pannier that took up the whole thing. And then on the other side, I kept my rain pants in that one. So they were just easy to get to and throw on if it started raining mid-bike ride. And then also a sweater, Icelandic sweater, my souvenir. I bought this like a week into the Westfjords Way. I really didn't need it. I was worried that I would need it because it would get way colder. But again, it stayed like 10 to 15 degrees Celsius the whole time. So really didn't need this extra layer, and I kind of wish I didn't get it, so I had more room for food. And that's it. I mean, everything's unpacked. Where I kept my food, I would keep like some food in here, kind of in the top of the frame bag. I would also put food in the seat tube bag, and then I would cram whatever else I had either into the pannier that had my sweater or in my day backpack. And that was pretty much it. I mean, in terms of like route beta, if you go through Cycling Westfjords, they give you a map that has like locations of everything on it that you need to know: grocery stores, camping locations, guest houses, like what's in each town, hot spring. Like, it's awesome. Their map is really good. Let's see, camping costs like 10 to 15 bucks a night US. So I just paid for a campsite every night. They all have hot showers, and they all have somewhere you can charge stuff, phones and whatnot, which was super helpful, and made the trip really easy. Other than that, I mean, man, what an amazing trip. Can't recommend it highly enough. I did, so through Cycling Westfjords, I did the Eagle route. And, you know, yeah, it was just a really great experience. I can't remember what I was going to say about that. I guess just like condition of the roads, which I spoke about a little bit earlier, like vast majority really good gravel roads with a few sections that are pretty rocky and bumpy, but nothing worse than that. And I guess my favorite day on the trip, like the prettiest part of the trail to me, was the day after Dinjandi, and it's the road that just like looks super crazy, and it's cut through the cliff by this farmer on his tractor. I mean, by far that is like the best day. Like that was such a cool day. So anyways, yeah, I hope you guys book it through Cycling Westfjords. I hope everybody has fun out there, and good luck. Hit me up I'll put some stuff in the description below on how you can find me, Instagram or whatever, or maybe just comment on the video. I might see it. Yeah, thanks.